makes you kind of think maybe you put Lewis Hall in there.
Yeah. But I was going to say, but is it a problem for Potter now?
No, it's a nice problem to have.
It's a nice problem to have, because where Ben Chilwell's out injured, that Cucurella transfer is looking even more like the correct decision.
Yeah.
But also, him playing at left wing-back, if we're going to play a 3... There's not many better options right now. If you're going off the last performance, he was the best player on the pitch for Chelsea.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem at all. I think it's a solution. You know, if you want to play 3 at the back, at the moment we've got so many injuries that we're struggling to do it for personnel. But Lewis Hall provides a solution for it. You can play Cucurella and play Lewis Hall in the same team. And anyway, as Zach said a couple of times already, he's not actually a wing back. He's just able to play that position so well. One kind of that was the silver lining for me on a greyish cloud in the end. But I thought the performance actually wasn't that bad. It was end to end, and it was, you know, they took their chances and we didn't.
And it's errors again. Like, you take out those errors. That's the thing, that if Chelsea over the next couple of months and obviously we've got the World Cup coming up and obviously the players are going on there, but even when they come back, if Chelsea can stop those individual errors, the kind of little mistakes that then lead to a goal, I think we'll be really, really good.
Like we said, you know, we said in the first half that you don't need to gift City any more chances, and you know, it wasn't a greatest tackle by Trev, and then Koulibaly could have jumped and maybe would have prevented the goal. But even the second goal, it's avoidable, isn't it? You don't want to be showing Mahrez onto his left foot, and once you do, you know what Riyad Mahrez is like, and if he's not going to score, he's going to create a chance.
No, exactly, yeah, and it's just.
It's frustrating.
It's tough. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. And look, in football, you make mistakes. Like that's part of the game. You can't go your whole career without making a mistake. That's never happened to anyone out there. It's just a bedding in period. It's a bedding in period that takes time. And now you switch off this. And you've got to remember that this wasn't away from just the injuries alone. This wasn't the strongest team Chelsea put out. Yeah. Mason Mount wasn't on. Like Aubameyang wasn't on. Thought Brozier, considering what he's had to deal with, did pretty well. And over everything. You're playing Manchester City.
Yes.
Their B team had a £100 million player at left wing.
Yeah.
Like, they're a very good side.
And they play exactly like the first team do. And obviously there was Gundogan and Bernardo Silva came on and Rodri played. And they play exactly like a Guardiola team. And even a second string is still very strong and very difficult to play against.
I think they are almost as good, if I'm totally honest. I mean, there are certain names that when you see them on a team sheet, you're just like, oh, you're scared, you know, when you see a De Bruyne, when you see a Bernardo Silva. But it's not much less scary to look and see Riyad Mahrez and see Gundogan and see Jack Grealish.
These are guys that won the league.
This is it, you know. And I think as Chelsea fans, it might be best if we zoom out just a little bit. We lost to the league leaders. Brighton, who are a very good team, that can turn over anyone at any given time.
They just beat Arsenal, right?
Yeah.
Brighton.
And, you know, the team that everybody sees as the benchmark for the Premier League, you've got to be somewhere near them to win the Prem, and that's Man City. So it's not all doom and gloom. It's just that we're Chelsea and we expect to win every game.
Yeah, and what you mentioned, Armando Brozier,
Yeah.
he didn't have the best service. What did you make of his overall performance?
I feel really sorry for Brozier at the moment, because it's almost like every time he starts, it's a game where he's not getting any service. And I'd love to see him get 90 minutes where he's got Mason Mount behind, he's got creative players giving him the ball. Because one of the best things I like to see, and that first half especially, and I didn't quite realise it until now, is how good he is actually on the ball. Yeah. He's not just quick, but he's very skillful. He's willing to take on several people. There was a time against in Arsenal when he came off the bench, he dribbled past 3 or 4 defenders. Again, he did it against City as well. He's someone who is still so raw as well. And one of the best things that Potter has proven over his career is how he can develop young, raw players. So for someone like Brozier, for someone like Lewis Hall, for someone like Omari Hutchinson, who unfortunately didn't come on today, there's going to be minutes available. There's going to be time. And obviously with what's going to happen over this month's off, they might even then be able to, if they're not going to the World Cup, that is, impress Potter.
Brozier was getting into good positions as well. It's just the ball wasn't quite getting there. You know, I saw him make some really good runs where you think, all right, if you play the ball right now, right into his path, he's there. It's him in the goal.
Definitely.
But you hesitate for 1 second, and that City defence is good enough to plug that gap, and it just wasn't there for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, this is what is coming up on the Fifth Stand app this week. Then it is obviously a big week for Chelsea because it is the final game, I should say, before the World Cup. On Friday, you've got Graham Potter's press conference of the Newcastle game, and we will be live on Matchday Live from 4:45 on the Fifth Stand app. Just before we go, guys, a one-word sum-up of today, Zach.
Hall.
Oh, I like it. I like it. That's tough to beat, Dan.
Promising. I'm not
Promising.
actually completely down and out. So.
And how are we looking ahead of Newcastle? Are we in a much more positive place than we were post-Arsenal?
For sure. Yeah, Newcastle were very, very good going to their away game. It's going to be tough, but I back Potter.
Yeah. Same with you, Dan.
Yeah, always.
Always. Dan, Zach, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be for Chelsea on the night we go out of the Carabao Cup, but we have one more game, Newcastle away, on Saturday in the Premier League, and hopefully we will go into the World Cup on a high. We will see you all on Matchday Live at 4:45 on the 5th Stand app. Bye-bye for now.